What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are testing out some new drugstore makeup. Dun, dun, dun. You'll have to excuse me today because I just downed like 16 ounces of G Fuel, which is an energy supplement. I'm just like, it's gonna be a fun day. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my little eyelids, and everything that I'm using today will be linked below in the description box. All right, so starting off with an eyeshadow palette, which is slightly new. Like, I've had it for a few months, but I've not heard anyone talk about it. Granted, I haven't been in the beauty space on YouTube, so maybe they are talking about it. I don't know. But this is the Catrice Pro Slim Eyeshadow Palette in the shade Neon Earth. I talked about the original eyeshadow palette they released like a year or so ago. But this is a warm tone palette, so you got some oranges, you got some red tones. So yeah, if you like warm neutrals, like this is your palette. It's like $11 or $12 on Amazon. They're not sold at Ulta anymore. Catrice is no longer at Ulta. You know what? They probably got tired of Ulta's BS. Just pure assumption, just based on my experience. So I'm gonna start with these two shades over here, these two like matte skin tone type shades, and set my primer. I can't breathe. I love this formula because it's not overly powdery and it's not like so opaque to where you have to be like, I'm gonna start off with Gravity and just see how dark that is. It looks a little light. I'm keeping my eyeshadow really simple, so I'm gonna go a little more over the top for this video just to show you guys as many eyeshadows as possible. I just feel like it just blends itself. Like, you barely have to put any work into it. Now go into Earth, which is a slightly darker matte brown. There's like barely any kick up in these. Like, look at this. Like, there's like no fallout. Like, they're just pressed and they're so high quality. Oh, I got some pricklies up there next to my brow. Ooh, looking up close is not a good idea. I can see all the peach fuzz. It's not good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into this really pretty red shade called Big Bang. By the way, I don't think I showed you guys, but the shimmers in here, like a lot of them, well, not a lot of them, two of them, this really pretty like marbleized kind of shimmer, kind of like the Huda Beauty ones. You got some basic shimmers in here, but then you have these. And I mean, does it really affect anything? No, but it's pretty to look at. It looks very bougie. Okay, so going into that red shade, we're gonna put this right on top of that brown. What I like about this shade is, yes, it's red, but it's like a toned down red. Like, whenever you put it on brown or even by itself, like, it has that red essence, but it's not over the top, like neon. All right, so I feel like a shimmer is calling my name now. So I'm gonna go into this shade right here called Supernova, which is like, it's like a bronzy shape, like the marble in it, like the marbleized little specks throughout it are like purple, pink, silver. The shimmer formula is so high quality and so finely milled. It looks good dry too. Like, you don't have to wet it. Like, there's a lot of shimmers I've tried that you have to wet it to actually make it kind of pop. But with this, like, it's basic, but it's just so pretty. So for my inner portion, I'm gonna go into, let's go into Lightning right here, which is like a white champagne gold. These are just so freaking buttery. I think I do want to put this on a little bit heavier because I do plan on using a setting spray to wet these and meld them together. And whenever you do that, it kind of dulls down the intensity a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into my NYX Bear With Me setting spray. I don't like this for my face for any purpose, but I like it to just wet my eyeshadows just because it's the way I use it up. So if you didn't see the video that I did a while back before my break, I'll put it up here in a card, so make sure you check it out. This is the way that I wet my eyeshadows now. It just makes it look so much more like a cream. Look at that, it just looks so much more fused together and seamless. Like, it doesn't look chunky. All right, so now I'm gonna go into the dark matte brown on the palette for my eyeliner. There is a little bit of fallout with this, but not much. And it's a nice, like, rich, neutral matte brown, so I think that's the best kind of tone for eyeliner. All right, so for mascara, I have this Covergirl Exhibitionist Stretch and Strengthen Mascara. So I love the original Exhibitionist mascara, which is in the silver tube. Let's get it out. Do I have some? Where'd it go? It's missing. Yeah, this is the new one with like the little like drippity drip kind of thing on the packaging. It's not the hourglass shape that the original Exhibitionist mascara is. It's kind of like a little more narrow towards the top and a little fatter at the base, but it's very, very subtle. All right, so there's what one layer looks like. So it's definitely more of a volumizing and thickening formula. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and build it up a little bit. Ooh, this is aged like a fine wine. I've had this for a few months and ooh, it's doing something for me now. Oh God. So it's a very, very black formula to where it makes my eyes kind of pop. It builds up length really well too. Ah, like it. Okay, so while I'm waiting for the little smudgy marks on my eyelid to dry, because I'm gonna go in and flake those off later, let's go into the brows. This isn't necessarily new. It's like new-ish, but I've never shown it or talked about it. So Here's a review from me. This is the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Latte. So this is just the Anastasia Brow Wiz kind of thing. We've seen it before, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what it looks like. So this one is just a tad bit dry for my liking, but I mean, it's not bad. I just don't know if I'd repurchase it, but I do love the color. Like Latte is the perfect color for me, and I feel like this is gonna be one that matches a lot of people. I feel like this is gonna be one of those things that it gets down to the very bottom and I end up like falling in love with it. I don't know, I'm like that sometimes. Oh, I need some H2O. I am parched. So let's go into some, actually, you know what? Let's go back into my palette. I'm gonna take a mixture of those two matte skin tone shades and pop that on my brow bone to kind of clean everything up and brighten it a little bit, and then just kind of stamp right on the brow bone, like right underneath the brow. This just really brightens everything up and makes everything look more clean and more crisp. Okay, so as far as the mascara goes, I feel like this side turned out better than this side. Like the mascara kind of has a tendency to look kind of thin towards the tips depending on how you apply it. Like I feel like I was a little bit quicker on this side. Like it just looks a little more thin and separated towards like the tip of the lashes. So yeah, it's kind of like an iffy formula. I don't know about it, we'll see. All right, so moving on to the face. So I have this new primer from Catrice. This is the Grip and Last Putty Primer. My hands are greasy. I can't do it. All right, it comes with a little spatula doodad, which who's using those? So it's probably trying to be like the e.l.f. putty primer, which is really infamous and popular now, and also probably like the Tatcha that primer. So let's use it. So I have oily skin and large Mamma Jamma pores, like they are a brick house. So let's see what this does for them. So there is what that looks like. So it definitely blurs and kind of mattifies, but I can still see my pores. Like it's filled in some of them, but it's not like whoa. And sometimes with these pore filling primers, they actually do better, like they fill in better if you apply 2 layers. Like let the first layer dry or at least get a little bit tacky and then apply your second layer. So I may end up doing that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use pore filling primers a whole lot anymore because I care less. Pores are normal. It's totally okay to have large pores. It's a skin type. Some people have freckles, some people don't. Some people have large pores and some people don't. And if you do, it doesn't matter. Just embrace yourself, embrace the skin that you're in, and just be okay with being flawed. All right, so there's what it looks like in my T-zone. So my skin looks a lot smoother, a lot more blurred out. It does mattify a little bit, but not too much. I just noticed that it does have that kind of tacky, like, you know, gripping primer feel. It's not very movable, like it's really set down in place. So I'm excited to see how it looks with foundation. Speaking of, the foundation that I have today is one that I've not tested very much, so we are in this together. This is the new L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. It says infused with firming serum, which I really don't care about, but it says skin looks firmer, smooths lines, conceals imperfections, and evens tone. So it does what a foundation normally does. So it's just a cream in a pot, which is very interesting. So this is the shade Light. Ooh, so it feels very watery. Like it definitely does have like a serum-y, like moisturizer kind of feel to it, like a tinted moisturizer kind of thing. Okay, so it's been sitting for a couple minutes and I do want to try it with a sponge just to see. Like I love a sponge, but sometimes with really thin foundations like this, it just doesn't work. But I just want to see. We can use a brush on the other side, but it's melting in really, really well. It's not giving me a lot of coverage. Like it's a very, very light coverage, but even though I've got stuff to cover up, like it's working. Like that looks seamless. I don't think there's a lot of shades in this because L'Oreal usually doesn't do a lot of shades in foundation because they suck. They're a $1 billion company and they don't normally do more than 8 shades. So on the other side, I do want to try a brush just to see. I'm being super quick with this. I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm just like Speedy Gonzalez in this foundation blending. I do want to build this up to see how it looks, like if it gets cakey, if it builds at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing, let it sit there for a couple minutes, and yeah, rinse and repeat. Okay, so I've sat here for a good amount of time, like about 5 minutes or so. So let's just go ahead and just press this in. Oh my God, we are impressed. I don't know if it's the primer underneath or if I'm just having a good skin day or what. I am really digging this, and I actually think I like it better with a sponge. So I'm gonna go over on the brush side and just kind of press everything in. I like the finish that it gives better with a sponge. I'm obsessing over the finish. Like it's just so like hydrated and glowy looking without looking like overly shiny. Like it just makes my skin look so healthy. The way that it's just melded into my skin, like it's literally fused into my skin. Like it and my skin are one. It's not making the blemishes on my face look scabby and dry like a little scabbage patch. The color is adjusted and kind of transformed my skin tone. Like I am I'm impressed, and I don't normally get impressed. So for concealer, I have this new one from Catrice. These are all new. You get it by now. This is the Catrice Ultimate Camouflage Cream. So I have the shade Ivory, which is just a normal skin tone shade, and I think that will probably work for me. I also have the shade Almond, which is a tad bit more on like the rosy, like peachy kind of side. And then I have Brightening Peach, which is the peach corrector. And I have used this like one time, but I don't really remember a whole lot about it because I don't pay attention off camera. Because I've already done my foundation, I am gonna skip the peach corrector. Yeah, there's what Ivory looks like. I think that's a good shade. Like, it's lighter, but it's not too light. So I do wanna see what Almond looks like though. So here's what it looks like on my hand. So it's just a tad bit darker. So yeah, it's got a little bit of that rosy cool tone aspect to it, but it's not super cool tone. Like, it actually looks like my skin tone. I'm gonna go into Ivory first. Like I said, I haven't used these, so I'm not sure how they wear. But I will say, since I stopped using powder so much, like, everything wears so much better than it used to. Like, the whole like dry, crepey, aging look that I used to get under my eyes all the time with pretty much every concealer, like even my favorite ones, doesn't really happen a whole lot now. Also, check that video out. This is talking about my new outlook and new take on powders, especially for under the eyes. So yeah, definitely watch that and see if you agree. But there is what Ivory looks like. So it blended out really well. It wasn't like stiff or anything to blend out. I would say it's like a medium coverage. Like, I can still see my dark circleage. There's what Almond looks like. So that took me literally like 20 seconds to blend out. That was so fast. Like, it just sinks right in. So I do want to build them up a little bit. I'm just going to tap this right on top of my dark circle and like sinkage area. I'm just going to sit here in Mercari shop while I'm marinating. Fun fact, I actually discovered one of my party people friends from my community on Mercari today. I'd bought an eyeshadow bundle on Mercari, and then like I left a review, and she reached out to me and was like, "Are you actually from YouTube?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's me. How'd you know?" Yeah, if you're looking for some makeup bundles and you want to save some money, then definitely check out Melissa Bennett on Mercari. So here's what, this is how her name is spelled. So yeah, check her out. Yeah, there's what Ivory looks like with 2 layers. So I didn't really get a whole lot more, like maybe like a half a step up in coverage. So let's see about the Almond side. Okay, so I don't know if it's the lighting just playing tricks with me, but I feel like I got more coverage on the Ivory side. That has to be the lighting. Like, that just doesn't make sense. I am kind of shocked that it is more of a medium coverage where it's a cream, but it's not bad. It blended out extremely well, like I said. Now I have the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush Palette in the shade Sun Kiss Glow. I wanted the Coral Cream Blush from them for a long time, and I almost bought it, and then I saw this in the New Arrivals page on Ulta or somewhere, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the Coral Blush. Like, that's the exact same shade. That's the same as the mauve one that they sell, and that's the same as the plum one. And like, it's like 14 bucks. And I think individually those are like 8 bucks a piece. So this is a way better deal, and you can mix and match. Let's go into the Coral one first. And I haven't used this one a whole lot, like this palette in general, because I like to save my like testing for videos, but it took me a long time to come around to doing it. Okay, so it blends and pushes into the skin so fast. It's not super over the top with pigmentation. Like, it's not like scary. It's pretty thin, so you can build it up, and starting out it's pretty sheer. But there's what it looks like kind of built up a little bit. I'm gonna go into my brush and just kind of blend around the edges a little bit, but that's a really pretty shade. It's very summery. So I do want to see what the mauve tone in here looks like. Probably end up just kind of mixing the two together. So I'll probably put some mauve on this side and put some coral on this side just to get some symmetry. This one is a tad bit more pigmented. Like, it's less sheer than the Coral one, surprisingly, but oh, it actually kind of looks like the Coral one when you build it up. Like, it looks really mauve in the pan, but it's got a little bit of like it's got kind of a corally aspect to it. Ooh, I like that one. So I have a setting powder, and I've really been steering away from setting powder, as I said, but we're here, so let's do it. So this is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder in the shade Light. This is like the most viral powder right now. Like, this is TikTok viral, it's YouTube viral. Everyone's comparing it to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder, which I haven't tried. It's on my list though. But I will say I was pretty worried about it, because anytime I see like the Can't Stop Won't Stop range is notoriously pretty matte, but people are saying that this is more of like a natural finish. Like, it kind of leaves behind a little bit of radiance, which I like. Here's what the shade Light looks like. And I mean, it feels like absolute silk. Like, it feels like air when you swatch it. Like, it just kind of melts away into the skin. Let's just put it right here in my T-zone, like very, very lightly. I'll put a little bit up here. Like, literally I'm just dusting it on. Like, I'm not packing it on super heavily or anything like I used to. So here's what it looks like. Here's one side with the powder and one side without. So I mean, it definitely does mattify. It's a powder, it's gonna do that. But I will say, like, it isn't a super duper like no shine whatsoever mattifying powder. Like, there is Like, it's got some breathability to it. Yeah, really smooth, really silky looking, airbrushed. I'm not over the top about it, but I also haven't used it a ton. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, it's good, you know, So I have another brow product, which I've been testing here and there. Again, I don't pay attention. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Lift Stick. So I got the shade Translucent, but they also have like different colors. But the thing about this is that the applicator itself, or like, not the applicator, the product itself is rounded. It needs to be smaller. Like, it needs to be like a Brow Wiz kind of size, I think. But I haven't really seen anyone talk about it for the brows, but I've seen someone talk about it as like a lip primer. And apparently it's supposed to help keep your lipstick on so much longer. I'm not gonna use it for that purpose today. I mean, it's just a wax. And honestly, just the amount of times that I've used, you can't, why am I showing you that? It's clear, ya dodo. Times I've used this, I haven't really been super impressed with it. Like, it's not really giving me out of this world hold to where it makes my brow stick up perfectly and, you know, stay in place. Like, it is very lightweight, I will say that. Maybe I'm just not applying enough. It's got this little like silicone looking brush thing on the side. Like, on the side, why'd I say it like that? That's weird. It's like a triangle shape. I'm not a fan of the shape of this. Like, why is this a triangle? Why is this chunky and fat? Like, it needs to be smaller and more like precise. Like, I don't get it. I know everyone's into the soap brow still, but I just never got into that trend. I just don't like the look of my hairs looking like I've been driving in like an open top car or something. And also, like, if you get it on your skin, then it could possibly disrupt your foundation and make it look all waxy and stuff, because that's essentially what this is. Like, it's a wax in a stick form. So I don't know if the better bet would be put it on before your foundation, but then like, if your hairs are sticking up on your skin, then the foundation would just move them back down. I don't get, where does this fit in my routine? I'm gonna go back up to my lower lash line now. I'm just gonna take that lighter tan that I put in my transition. I'm just gonna stick to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a random lip liner, and then I'll show you the lip products that I have. So I'm just gonna use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Good and Plenty. Hopefully this color works, I don't know. So I have the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink lip colors. So this is a newer concept. It's basically a glossy liquid lipstick, which I think is a way better concept than the stupid matte liquid lipsticks that people were all about for all those years. So I have two shades. I have 15 Peachy and number 35 Cheeky. And I haven't used Peachy yet, so this may be what we use today. So it's got this kind of like this shape of wand, kind of curves out a little bit. So let's see what the color looks like. It's not even really that peachy. It's kind of like a, well, I guess it kind of is like a peachy brown. I've been pretty impressed with the wear. Like, you have the longevity of a liquid lipstick, but you have the glossiness of a lip gloss. I think is what a liquid lipstick should have been from the very beginning. The majority of lipsticks back then weren't matte, so why were you making a matte in the liquid form? It makes no sense. That shade is beautiful. Like, I was kind of afraid it was going to be too peachy, and I feel like it's picking up more peachy on camera. Like, it's actually like a peachy mauve. Yeah, you have that like it's not sticky, but you've got that like tightness of a liquid lipstick in a way, but it's not super uncomfortable, and it just kind of smooths over your lips in kind of like an airbrush way. Like, it makes your lips look really like lineless, which I love. I'm gonna let this sit here for a couple minutes, and we're gonna do a little kiss test to see that, but let's just go ahead and do a little swatch of Cheeky. So Cheeky is definitely more cool tone. It's more of that purpley pink mauve. So yeah, here's Cheeky and here's Peachy. So yeah, I mean, beautiful shades, very versatile. I really like the packaging too. Like, it looks like a NARS lipstick. Like, look at that. It just looks so fancy and expensive. Like, I'm telling you, drugstore is where it's at. So let's just go ahead and do a little kiss test. So let's see. Okay, a little bit of color payoff on there, but it's almost like it forms two different layers, like a clear layer on top, and the color kind of separates and goes underneath. And whenever you touch it, like whenever there's transfer, the clear top coat that's mixed in, kind of like, that's what gets pulled off, if that makes any sense. That's beautiful. For setting spray, this is the Revlon Colorstay 24-hour setting mist. So I've not heard anyone talk about this. This is banging. This is such a good setting spray for improving the wear of your makeup, but also melding all the layers together. And let's show you the, let's see, it's got a very fine mist. It's very luxurious. Let's just go ahead and boop, boop, boop. This has been a go-to, like, trusting setting spray for me lately. Like, when I want to make sure my makeup's going to stay on, I'll use this. So yeah, it pretty much works well with everything I've tried. It doesn't mattify too much. It doesn't really give you any kind of added finish. Like, it just kind of sets what you've already got. So here's what we look like with the foundation, the cream blush, the powder, all that. And there's no highlight or anything, so I just got a little bit of glow left over from my foundation. Hello?
Daddy.
Dolly.
Mama.
Mommy and Casey.
Daddy.
Baby.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Mama.
Yeah. Aren't you beautiful? Mommy's almost done.
Mama.
Does it smell bad?
Mama. Yeah.
It smells like a moo cow.
Oh, yeah. Mama. Yeah. Is it good?
So if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more testing new drugstore makeup videos like this, and make sure you get a big old thumbs up. And here's a couple more things for you to check out next. So just venture around the channel, make yourself at home, subscribe if you're not already, and turn notification bell on to always see my stuff, because you never know when I'm going to upload nowadays. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.